I love seeing what God is doing outside of ourselves. And to me, that's what World Missions is about, is anything that we do outside of ourselves to others in the name of Jesus. And so to be part of the board and to see what God is doing all around the world, and I like what Dr. Probst and Dr. Childers are putting together when it comes to the 365 Challenge, because it's not just an event that we do, it's a lifestyle that we have.
I think at the core of the gospel is to make disciples. We are disciples who make disciples, and missions is obeying the command of Jesus Christ to go to all the world to preach the good news.
So here in Thailand in particular, we have seen God do a lot of wonderful things through wonderful people like Chuck and Sherry Quinley.
We're Chuck and Sherry Quinley, and we live in Thailand. Thailand's our home base, and we're the directors of Emerge Missions. And one of the projects of Emerge is Media Light Institute. And Media Light uses media and media training to make disciples out of young people in developing nations of the world. The invitation to come and do media training is a great big open door that a lot of young people will enter. And then through that, we can begin the discipleship while we're doing media training.
When we started Media Light, we really felt like we had to focus on emerging young leaders of the unreached nations, for the unreached nations. You know, Thailand is a nation that's less than half than 1% Christian. I mean, you need to stop and think about that. That's a staggering statistic. A Thai person can reach a Thai person so much better than we can, because they understand everything that they have to battle against as they experience Jesus, because here to be Thai is to be Buddhist. They can understand that, and they know how to address all the different things that they have to battle against.
To see their unique approach to ministry in a nation that is only 0.5% Christian, and yet they've been effective in thinking outside of the box of what is evangelism to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to people that are really not open to the gospel.
We are in the heart of the 1040 window, where the last, the least, and the lost are. And we've got to be strategic about this. You know, Jesus said, until all have heard. And we're living among those who have not heard yet.
It's really, really hard when you're from anywhere in the West to even comprehend what it's like to not even know who Jesus is in history. The mindset is just so different. The level of fear and the nervousness about, you know, being in the hands of little gods that hurt you, torment you, do things you can't control, and it's like, who can deliver me from this? Who can be strong enough to do this?
Chuck and I were in Tibet one year, and we just sat for 3 days in the courts of the temple gates, and we watched the same people. They would do this repetition prayer. We saw some of them doing it, old people doing it 100 times. They would go up, they'd come down, they'd lay on their face, they'd come back up, their knees were rugged. We asked somebody, what are they chanting? And it came down to, I want a happy life, I want a happy life. What I saw was the cluelessness, sincerely seeking, hoping to get an answer that would fill that emptiness in their souls. That, to me, is the last, the least, and the lost. And that's why we're here. I believe the day that we come right with the Lord, He allows us to remain on this earth for one reason, and that reason is there's others that were in the place that I was before I became right with Him. They matter to Him, so they must matter to us. And that's why we're here.
It's so important that we find God's new messengers, and we find those leaders who've got personal ambition for the Lord.
My name is Somkiat Jakshi. What we do is two main areas. One is to prevent the issue that happen and to protect the children, you know. And secondly, is we rescue children that have been sexually abused, that have been trafficked, and help write their new story of their life. We give them education opportunity, and we give them job opportunity so that they can survive when they grow up. and they can able to success in the dream that they have, you know. The best part for me is seeing the progress of their life, seeing from one level that they have no hope, now there's hope for them. They start dreaming again, and also seeing they finish each level, and I think that's what I really appreciate. The Friday night worship service is fun night for them. One, they get to see other friends. There's worship and dancing and happiness in the praise. I want them to experience that presence of God, that one touch of God, one touch of His presence. I believe that will change their life.
We feel like the future of missions is for the Western Church to get behind these young national leaders and help them get a great start. And God's just blessed us. We're surrounded with amazing young people. And one's Mark Rosakai, and he's from the Philippines, and I'm watching Filipino missionaries go out.
So the number one threat to Thai college students remains to be depression. A lot of students suffer from anxiety, stress, mental health issues.
They're lost because they don't have hope. The hope is in Jesus Christ. When you're in that state and you're contemplating suicide, what you're really saying is that there is no hope, when they have the answer. And the plan of God is to reveal that to them.
If we're going to be face to face with them, we want to be able to touch their pain point. And this is the pain point. And so we designed and are now executing what we call LIFT. LIFT is a 2-hour encounter on joy. It is tailor fit for Thai university students so that we could give them tools in order for them to take charge in their lives so they can nurture joy on a daily basis on their own. Lift is our way of pointing them to joy and the possibility of a life of joy by pointing them to the source of joy, who is Jesus Christ.
To get behind them and to be part of empowering, putting good tools in their hands and helping them get a good start. I just feel like that's what the 365 Challenge is all about.
Chuck and Sherry Quinley are the true heroes. Our missionaries are the true heroes. They're the ones who are in the trenches, day in, day out. 365 is what they do.
They're addressing a systemic issue with solutions that they created with the people of those villages. One thing that Chuck said is we look for hill tribe solutions for hill tribe issues, and they're doing that.
It is absolutely possible for us to finish the Great Commission in our lifetime. And it's not something that's going to be easy, but God has a plan that He's working. God also has a people that He's putting together. We've seen it here in Thailand. We've seen the benefits of what happens when God puts teams together, international teams. And so when we're doing as the body everything that we need to do, then we'll work together to see the Great Commission finished.
When we all add our resources together, we've got a lot of resources.
Yeah.
We've got brilliant people, we've got a lot of talent, and then we've got just the tithing and the giving that's across our system. And if we would just do the laser light principle on truly a strategic move to reach the last remaining unreached. And now again, because we've got new communication tools,
Right.
This is more possible than it has ever been before.
I might not be in the trenches with what is happening in Thailand, but I can be an answer to prayer and making provision. And sometimes it seems like it's just a cliche, especially when it comes to world missions, but the giving of money goes a long way. Whenever you hear stories, even while we were in Thailand, about what God was doing, and they're having to meet the budget, if not, they might have to shut down some ministries. They're praying about it, and we could be the answer to their prayers and providing what they need.